body's circulation requirements have been reduced by significant.
Who needs science class?
He's talking about Tink Tink.
His circulation requirements have been reduced, which means that his heart now has to support less of his body, so he can be stronger from a respiratory and cardiovascular standpoint. His blood has to circulate through a smaller portion of his body. So if he can manipulate his legs much as a normal human being is through his artificial devices, those little tink things on his legs, that he no longer has to circulate blood to that part of your body, which reduces the energy requirement, which makes it more feasible for him to be successful in running as long as he's able to meet the mechanics of the running activity.
You just run the whole gym.
Well, I can see where scientifically it would make a man a better runner. I mean, if I could take and my heart circulate to a smaller portion of my
No, he's telling you why he was
I
disqualified.
know, I was talking about Tink Tink with a joke, and now it turned into science.
It's certainly science, and that's why he wins. People say, well,
Well, he was disqualified actually.
Well, he was disqualified because he had artificial legs.
But wouldn't that
And they
make it
consider
a
cheating.
disadvantage, though? He couldn't help it he didn't have any
Not
legs.
necessarily. They work more. Like I said, his body could work more efficiently because he didn't have to circulate to the lower part of his body.
Well, they should never let him run. Then it was their fault. So they should have disqualified
That's
him.
quite possible that they could have seen that
Quite
image. You know, how does that look? You prevent a disabled person from participating.
Well, how does it look if you're going to prevent him?
And
And then he wins and you take his medal away. I mean,
said, nigga, no, you can't have this.
we thought you were going to lose, so we were going to let
So
you
did everybody
play.
else because they didn't figure it actually worked. And so when he actually won, everybody else that was there was complaining. He said he had an advantage that we didn't have.
But they should have thought about that beforehand. But they thought he was going to lose, so they couldn't play the handicap card.
You ever seen the Bionic Man?
Nope.
That's what it does. It does the same thing. His cardiovascular capacity was increased with the fact that he did not have to circulate blood to certain parts of his body. So therefore, it was providing more capacity for him for his body movements and for his strength that he might not have had had he had the normal body.
And you know this?
Bionically, well, yeah, I think
Because you were a
scientifically it's-
firefighter. No, I'm just joking.
Well, no,
No,
I
she's
having
doing it.
education too, so.
Callie, she's not doing that to coach you, Dad. She is in one of those moods.
Well, they must have been in a good mood today.
Yeah, one of those goofy moods. I guess she didn't want Tink Tink explained to her.
It's not even funny to me anymore. Now it's just like,
Tink Tink,
Well,
not poor
Tink
Tink Tink. You cheated, Tink Tink. You thinking Tink
I
Tink
gotta stop
wouldn't-
saying Tink Tinks. I'm thinking I gotta get Tinkle. Tink Tink, Twinkie, something.
Yeah, people doing surgery to their bodies to improve their athletic performance.
Well, but
Or taking drugs. It's the same kind of thing.
well, yeah, but now he had his legs were his legs were cut
He
off.
was a runner for a living.
But his legs were an accident. I mean, it wasn't he chose to get his legs cut off so that he could.
I'm trying to blame this on Tink Tink.
That's not the mechanism that's a question. It's the fact that it changes the level of
Okay, but can we agree that they had to let him run because he was considered handicapped? But can we agree to disagree that after he won, they were wrong? Then they played the you cheated card. They couldn't play you handicap card, but then they played, well, you were disadvantaged card.
Right, because nobody expected him to win.
Well, that's wrong. That's wrong.
It's true, though.
But can you say that it's wrong? It's true, but wrong.
Nobody expected him to win. They didn't think it was an advantage. They thought it was a disadvantage.
And so they wasn't going to hurt his
So they
feelings.
were wrong.
So they were wrong.
And they didn't realize that he had adapted to his situation and he had recovered significantly, that he was as good a runner as he ever was, despite the fact that he didn't have the lower half of his legs.
Ooh,
And
you just depressed the whole YouTube crowd.
We're sorry, YouTube. What were we thinking? I don't.
Imagine that could.
Well, no, that's wrong. They let him. They did. He got pity. He pitied.
I know.
It's
that.
kind of like
I know,
a,
we
you know,
just
they,
talked
they,
about it.
I know
know.
that, but that's wrong. Somehow that's wrong. They should have given him something. They should have given it to him.
It doesn't make any difference because the bottom line is, you know, it's a story of competition, and he overcame a great challenge to be able to do what he did.
Yeah.
And the fact that he beat them just irritated them because they didn't think it could possibly.
Right. That's what I want to hear.
And once he won, it became an issue with everybody else. Somehow that his now artificial legs that they once responded to as a disadvantage were somehow in fact cheating because now he had better legs than they did. And so, because they weren't on equal playing field, therefore it was cheating. And they wanted him disqualified because they didn't want to lose to a man with no legs.
That's like saying, that nigga left me for another boy.
You got to stop saying that word. And I mean it, Callie. Roll them eyes again, sister, and I'm going to pop you. Nigga, please. That's what you're fixing to say. You've got to stop saying
You don't know
that.
what. Well, you think you can read my mind? You can't. So you put me in bad moods.
No, your emotions and your own mood, your own business.
This is why I stay in my room. I can't
That
win
was
anything.
good. That was good.
I can't win anything.
You gotta go
That's why I don't talk to you.
Say, Callie,